You know, this week President Bush committed the United States to building a missile defense system, a giant outer space panty shield that would protect us from incoming missiles while still allowing us to go swimming, running, and horseback riding. Now, I know this SDI sounds like the lunatic product of a deranged mind, but it was actually Reagan's idea. The thing is, back in the Reagan years, it was only a bluff, a trick to get the Soviets to cash in their chips. There was never any plan to actually build the thing. I mean, even in Star Wars didn't work. Luke Skywalker got right in and blew up the Death Star, but you know, you can't hate dreamers, and sometimes the unimaginable does come true. We put a man on the moon. We harnessed the atom. We've kept Dick Cheney alive. But what kills me, and of course eventually the rest of humanity, is the very selective way the current administration doles out its faith in technology. A magic force field in the sky that's never come close to working? Sign me up for the Can-Do Club. But alternative energy sources? Or a non-polluting car? What are you, gay? I don't know if you remember, but we used to have a defense shield over the Earth. It was called the ozone layer. Yeah, that's the Earth shield I'm worried about. I'm much less concerned with things coming out of the sky than I am with things we're putting into it. And into the water, President Arsenic. I mean, where's Erin Brockovich when you need her? The polar ice caps are melting. In 10 years, I don't want to see an ad. Surf Idaho. Spending gazillions on Star Wars when we continue to pretend that global warming needs more study is such an irrational prioritizing of one threat over another. It's like meeting a total stranger in a bar, refusing to drink out of their glass, and then having unprotected sex with them 3 hours later, God willing. Now, I know America should have expected nothing else when it elected 2 oil men to supreme power, but we still deserve a little better than to be made canaries in a Republican mine where you might die, but business is good. You know, George Bush is a lot like the missile shield. He lives in a bubble, and he's failed most of his tests. But, Mr. President, I got to tell you, the planet, it's not a share. I mean, it is a share, sorry. And it guarantees life for no living creature. I know all those dead dinosaurs created the oil that produced the money that put you in charge. But take a hint from the irony gods. We're all, as you might say, extinctionable.
The point that he's right is about the fact that people, even within the church, have approached this issue, I think, in a very wrong way, and in a way that I agree with you, that I think Jesus would be offended by. And it's not by... we don't need to compromise, but by the way that they're treating it like anything else. You need to treat this issue with the same kind of compassion and love that you would... No, I'm saying you need to treat this issue with the same kind of compassion and love as you would anyone else. Let me finish. Anyone else who's not accepting God's best in their life. Now, I do not hate or fear or any homosexuals. As a matter of fact, I love them very much. I have them in my family, and believe it or not, I even have friends. No, I even have friends who died of AIDS. You know, I don't know if that, but my point is it's not accepting God's best in your life, and that is what the tragedy
But
is. And you know, the church needs to
didn't
reach
God
out.
make somebody gay to begin with?
Absolutely not.
No?
Can I ask you something? No.
Let me
Because
it takes
God
years of
made-
practice. It takes years of practice. You know, and
Well, if God didn't, who did?
Well, wait a minute.
well,
What
first
about
of all,
another
even if-
concept?
even
Because
if-
you've been talking so long. What about another concept? I'm sorry, just a second.
Okay, we started to talk about the ruling with same-sex marriages and why we got into religion. This often gets into a religion, this area. I don't know why, and I don't remember the Bible that well. I read it once and enjoyed it immensely, but I don't remember Jesus getting involved in the homosexual issue, so I don't know how either one of you can...
Yes, he did.
What exactly, where in the Bible does Jesus
Your
start
father
going off about...
tore out Leviticus.
In Romans, yeah,
Romans?
in Romans.
He's not in Romans.
Oh, yeah, in Romans it talks about, you know, homosexuality
But
being
Jesus
a sin.
doesn't. Bill's point is Jesus keeps
Jesus-
his nose out of things.
Jesus is
Yeah.
God, and the
It's like-
Bible is the inherent word of God.
But
You
what is
can't pick
Jesus-
it apart.
what is
But
Jesus-
that's all a point
In
of view. That's
Leviticus,
your point of view,
It's not
right?
a point of view, it's a fact. As a matter of
not-
fact,
It's an interpretation.
somebody, wait, can I say something? There was that book that was out, it was just in USA Today and stuff like that, from a guy who doesn't even believe in Jesus,
What?
Yeah, but
did
everyone-
a study on the Bible, and he said that, you know,
A guy did a
God
study on-
must have written this. He did some
You're
encoding.
talking about the Bible code?
No,
He cracked the code.
One
It's
step
the-
above professional
You know,
wrestling,
you have
the
to also
Bible
are relying
code.
on translators.
Well, you know what else?
Right.
This
You
was
know
not
what else?
written in English like
Which
the
is
King
why
James
it is
Version.
important to do Bible studies and get
Which is
back to
why
the
it's
original
important to
Greek.
speak Latin and
And
Hebrew.
you will
You can tell. You
and
can tell
can
God
do
wrote it
that.
I know
because
you
there's
can.
God.
And the
you
more
can
you
tell-
study
you
the
can
Bible,
tell
the
God wrote
more
it.
The more you
understand
study, the
God's best
better
for your
it
life.
is.
And the closer you become
Not
to
to
God.
talk about
Since you're
And the
so
less
weak
and
on the
less you want
Constitution,
these
I don't know whether to believe you on the Bible.
Oh,
Okay?
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
And
Well, then you know what, Bill? Look it up for yourself.
Look
Get
it
into
up.
the Word of God and look it up for yourself.
why don't you quote it to me since you know the Bible so well? What does Jesus say about gays? Where does it say he said until the homos? Not homo. I don't mean that in a bad way. But I mean,
Ex-homos.
where?
Ex-homos. Ex-homos.
But where does it say in the...
I want to, please, I have to know, you have to tell me about the ex-homosexuals. I need to know. Is there a place
in
I can
Washington,
go and
D.C.
walk amongst them and
Absolutely. They had a huge rally on
and tell them,
Capitol
wait, and tell them the error of their ways and tell them get back to doing what you do best.
Why? Because you know what? When you've experienced God's grace in your life, and the
We've all experienced God's grace. That's an insult. That's an insult.
No, wait a minute. When you
That's an insult.
experience that, you want to please God more and more.
We're insulted.
I'm sorry.
He said he wanted athletes to be visionaries who can reach out to young people and lead them on a path to college and a better life.
Isn't that his job?
Yeah, that's a good point. But I can't think of any worse role models for young people than athletes. I think...
Politicians.
No. I think athletes are even worse.
They don't want to take half your money and your freedom. I really do think politicians are worse, but I must say I disdain the whole concept of role models, and especially for athletes, because I mean, I don't like bandying this term around, but I do think there's something a little bit racist about this, because you never hear people saying, you know, rock and rollers ought to be better role models. Nobody says Kurt Cobain, he ought to be a role model.
Asked Danny Ainge what he's doing for the white people. What are you doing for the white community? No one ever says
That's right. That's right. And they're athletes.
Larry Bird, how are you helping your white brothers out? No.
But one thing black athletes and white athletes have in common is that they all have a very bad attitude.
And they
have in common is they have exceptional
They act like in one
sport. Oh, please.
The only thing they have in common is they have an exceptional ability in a certain aspect of life that's freakishly unuseful anywhere else. Patrick Ewing, he can dunk. That's not going to help you after you play basketball. So why should he be penalized for having this wonderful ability for that and asked to do any more than that?
He shouldn't for that. I'm just saying, yes.
You know, he's put into a limelight situation where a lot of kids look up to him. Mm-hmm. So, in a sense, he's got to kind of watch what he's doing. He can't really swear in public because he doesn't want maybe somebody's kid to be watching him that looks up to him and saying something like that.
Yeah, but what do you really know about sports? I mean, the thing is I think in this situation, clearly we have to listen to the asthmatic Jewish guy. Now, the thing is this. MIT, if you go to MIT or any of those other schools, what they do with the mathletes is also my people. If I can say, we take the bowl money that they bring in and invest it very wisely. And then,
you know, we've been fighting a drug war for about 500 years. Apparently, still not working. The big story in USA Today is that there is a resurgence in heroin. Guess among who? Teenage girls. Isn't that terrible? Teenage girls, suburban teenage girls who hang out at the mall, are using heroin. Not a good thing. And also bad for the boys. I mean, can you imagine how demoralizing it is as a young boy to pick up the courage to ask a young girl out and have her say, "Not tonight, I'm washing my syringe." Okay. It's traditional for the president himself to make some humorous remarks. He one-upped that this year, and he made a video, which show a little bit of this video, because this has been, some of this, it's, you know, the idea behind the video was that he's a lame duck and he's got nothing to do in the White House, so he's just hanging around the White House. And, you know, it was very funny. He got a standing ovation at the White House Correspondents' Center. Naturally enough, the hard-ass Republicans are saying, you know, how dare he waste the people's time and money when he should be doing nothing but, of course, apologizing because he likes sex. And they will never get over that. And, you know, why can't they just let this guy do what he does best, which is, of course, run the world? Even by Paula Jones' story, he didn't sexually assault her.
He dropped her pants in front of her.
He dropped his pants.
His pants in front of her and said, "Hey,
right,
here you go."
No.
Now, some might think that's an assault.
Boy, what an offer.
He didn't call it an assault.
How can you turn that down? What finesse?
No one is denying that he's a bad approacher.
A bad approacher.
And the reason why is because he is so busy working on your case, man. On our case, 24/7. That's why he's
working
eating
on our
pizza
kids.
and talking. Yeah, that's why he was talking on the phone to congressmen when Monica was doing him. Because he's busy.
Do you think that maybe it's a way people just sample it and they get an idea, then they get excited about it, then they go buy the CD, so you're not that worried about it?
To an extent, yeah. And you want the cover, you want all the lyrics, you want the whole package.
Yeah. Well, you want to buy the White Album, and you want to get...
It's not exactly like it was with an album. When
Thank
you have all the
you.
inserts.
Exactly. Try to roll a joint on a CD.
You can't because the seeds fall through the crack when you put the jewels on. But there's some... I'm just saying.
And you know that because...
I saw it on Dawson's Creek.
Me too. And I'll say it again. It's childish.
Yeah.
It is childish.
It is arrogant to say to billions of people on the planet who understand that God is real and makes a difference in their lives that you know better than they do. And that's the
No, they're the ones who say they know better. I'm saying I don't know.
They yield in awe to an almighty God.
No, I'm the one who's saying I don't know. I don't know, and that's okay that I don't know. You're the guys who are saying, I have to know, and the answer is that he did it in 6 days, and he made woman out of a rib. That's what's childish, is to say, I don't know these answers, but I'm going to make up this story, and then I'm going to make all these people believe it, and if they don't, I'll kill them.
Millions of people on the planet got it wrong.
Millions of people are stupid.
Just the fact that we need helmets proves that humanity as a species cannot survive. The fact that we chose, in pursuing activities that were cracking our skulls open, to not, don't stop the activity, figure out a way to stop cracking our skulls. And the helmet law is even stupider because this is trying to protect a brain that is working so poorly. It is leading the body into head-cracking activity.